We're live.
Okay. Hey, everybody. Hope you're having a great Saturday morning wherever you are in this country. We are in Fort Bend County in the southeastern part of the state, right next to Harris County, which is home to Houston, Texas, which is where we were on the debate stage 2 nights ago. And thanks to everybody who was there with us, everyone who was there in spirit, everyone who tuned in, everyone who sent some words of encouragement before and then some words of support afterwards. Very grateful to you. We had a great chance to spend time with supporters and friends yesterday, and now we're in Fort Bend, but we're also in House District 28. There is a special election in the Texas House for this seat that takes place on November 5th. And even perhaps more important than November 5th is October 22nd. That's the first day that you can vote early in this election. And we know from experience how critical early voting is. So a little bit more than a month left before people start voting in an election that could determine the composition of the state legislature, meaning that this is the first chance in a really long time that Democrats could form a majority. And that's important for redistricting. That's important for any issue that you care about, whether it's guns, whether it's education, whether it's teacher salaries, whether it's the Texas teachers retirement system, whether it's the environment, whether it's climate change, whether it's infrastructure, you name it, the state legislature is going to decide that issue. And if you are frustrated with the dysfunction and the lack of action, or taking action in the wrong way, like those 10 bills that just went into effect September 1st, making it easier to take guns on a school campus, easier to take guns in a place of worship, and you want to see some change, then this is an election that you should be paying some attention to. I want to introduce you to Eliz Markowitz, who is our candidate for HD 28. She's going to spend these next 4 weeks going into early voting, and then all the way through November 5th, knocking on doors like we're going to do here today, introducing herself, listening to the people in this district to make sure that she's reflecting their urgency on the issues that matter most. And this is what someone referred to as a red to blue district, meaning that it's been historically represented by a Republican and might seem like a really tough district to win. But let me just share this with you. Barack Obama in 2012 lost this district by 30 points. Hillary Clinton in 2016 lost this district by 10 points. We, all of us working on the Senate campaign in 2018, lost this district by only 3 points. So it is very quickly moving in the right direction, very much in play. And this is our candidate, Eliz. Eliz, would you introduce yourself to the folks on live stream before we start knocking on doors? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Dr. Eliz Markowitz, and I'm running in House District 28. Our election is in 52 days, and it's the most pivotal election in Texas in 2019. It's our only opportunity to flip a seat from red to blue and ensure that we have fair maps and redistricting after the census in 2020. If we don't do this and flip this house in Texas, we're going to be stuck with Republican corruption and gerrymandering for another decade. So it is imperative that you tell your friends, you tell your neighbors, you tell your pet kittens to come out and vote, because we need to flip this seat and make sure that Texas turns blue.
You know who you just connected with on that comment is my daughter Molly.
Excellent. Hi, Molly. Cats are amazing.
She just rescued 2 kittens out of a bush outside of my mom's house, and so she's like nursing them to health, making sure that they're ready, and then she's fostering them to be adopted by someone else. So Molly, if you're listening right now, those 2 kittens got to make sure that they're engaged in this. And one last thing before we take you with us as we knock on doors, which is the best way to run a campaign, to win an election, to make sure that you understand what's on the minds of those that you want to represent and serve. I know that people across Texas understand that this entire state is in play. Recognize, thanks to what you just shared, how pivotal November 2019 is. You know, a little more than a month away when early voting begins for this, and understand that the ability to ensure that redistricting is fair, to ensure that everyone has a voice in the democracy, is pivotal towards 2020. Absolutely. And what we want to see happen statewide in Texas, and what we want to see happen nationally for the country. So if someone's watching this and does not live in this district, cannot vote, and they're in another part of Texas or they're in another part of the United States, and they want to find out more about you, or they want to help, they want to pitch in some money to make sure you have the resources to knock on all these doors and meet all these people, where do we send them to on the World Wide Web?
Okay, so if you can go to www.eliz4tx, E-L-I-Z, the number 4tx.com, you can find out all about our platform and you can donate to our campaign. Please keep in mind that even if you're not in House District 28, but you're in Texas, this election affects you. House districts, we may represent our certain district, but at the end of the day, we all come together as Texans to make sure that everything is fair and equitable across this state.
All right, we can win this election. We have the candidate. She's putting in the shoe leather. We're about to go knock on some doors, but if you want to help, now's a great opportunity to do that. So thank you all for your consideration, and we're going to follow you as
Hey, I
you
told
know.
my kid there's a famous guy out there.
Hey, how are you? Who is this?
Say hi.
I'm Beto. What's your name? Eden?
Yeah, you want to take a picture?
Hi.
Here, I'll do it so you can
How are
jump.
you?
Oh my god!
You want to say hi? Hi, I'm Eden.
Beto, nice to
from
meet
Bosnia.
you. Nice to meet you all.
Yeah.
You know what? I really like Frozen, and I like Elsa, and I see Elsa on your shirt,
Do you like Elsa?
and she's
Yeah.
holding a snowflake in her hand.
Yeah.
I like that. It's right there on your shirt. It's so cute. Yeah.
How about you, Eden?
Mario.
I like Mario. Yeah. Do you play Super Mario Karts?
Well,
Or
I don't
Ninten-
have it on my Nintendo, but I have this new game. It's like kind of like Gorillas, but it's a gorilla game that I had to beat the levels. And whenever I beat all the levels, I go to the bosses. And my dad has to beat all the bosses, and then we had to go to the snow one.
Ooh.
The snow
What's it
one-
called?
Well, there are a lot of bosses, and whenever you beat on the last one, there's a seal boss, a white polar bear one, and
I've
there's
never heard of this game before. I
so
like this.
good,
I
yeah.
want to play it. You're gonna have
You
to
wanna
remember
take
the
a
name.
picture?
Eden, I want to introduce you to Eliz Markowitz. She is running to represent
Hi.
you
Nice to meet
in
you.
I'm
House
Eden.
District 28.
Okay.
Yes.
Nice to have
and
you
so
guys.
let me get a flyer.
Yeah.
We're gonna give it so you can learn a little bit more about her. Early voting is October 22nd, and she's really focused. I'm gonna allow her to introduce herself, but she's really focused on education, which I'm thinking about Eden here and your daughter. She really wants to make sure they have world-class public schools.
Yeah, absolutely. So we need to make sure that our kids are prepared to meet the challenges of today's society. And right now, we're not meeting that challenge in Texas. We're 38th in the nation when it comes to education. And so we need to make sure that guys like Ethan are able to go on and graduate and get jobs that can sustain themselves and provide a high quality of life.
I mean, it's a sad way education in the United States across the board.
Yes.
You come from
Absolutely.
Bosnia and like in 4th or 5th grade, you're taking like 12, 13 subjects.
Yeah.
It's really sad here.
Yeah.
Like whole across the board, it doesn't matter which one you live, and also respect those teachers and the way teachers get treated. I gotta buy supplies for teachers, and it's kind of like, you know, you'll think with country with all the income and all the money to make, you'll think education will be top notch. So who can go to Harvard?
Right.
Who is at Harvard?
You buy supplies for the teachers.
Well, not really. You help them out, but at the end of the day, I mean, who can go to Harvard? That's why you got a bunch of those students. Who's eligible to go? You get a bunch of kids from overseas because regular student, he can't go. He can't pass exams. I went here to HID school. It was a joke. Just show up. You get 4 classes. It was Robert Lee High School. Doesn't exist anymore. But it was a joke. Just show up and you pass.
Eden, what grade are you in right now?
I'm in first grade.
First grade. And how do you like it?
Good.
Yeah.
What are you learning? What are you learning?
We're learning about small moments in math and science and
What's your favorite?
What's your favorite subject?
Science.
You know what? Every single one of my kids, when I ask them that question,
Yeah.
their favorite subject is either PE or lunch.
Yeah.
So I am so impressed, Eden, that you said science. That makes me proud.
Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Here,
Eden, come on in.
Stan, you want to take a
Elise,
picture?
come join us.
You're gonna stand with them, okay? And then
We're,
I'm gonna take
we're
a
gonna look
picture
this
of you.
way. Yeah.
All right, you ready? Here we go. 1, 2. Got it.
Well, thank you for stopping by, guys.
Thank you.
I'll definitely
Thank
look
you.
at it. Good luck.
Appreciate it.
Good
yeah,
luck.
thanks
Good
for saying
luck.
hello. Eden,
Yeah,
thank
please
you.
make
So
sure
now-
you
and do you
come
remember
out.
the name
Sure,
of the game you're telling me about?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Lots of bosses.
Donkey Kong?
Donkey Kong.
There we
Oh, I
go.
played Donkey Kong. It's
Yeah,
Super
we
cool.
all did when we were little.
Yeah.
Hey, Betsy.
All right,
Have a good
good
one.
luck. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
So they stopped from their
Yeah,
car
say
really
hi
quick.
to
They
you.
just-
Hi.
Elsie.
Elsie, I'm Beto. Nice to meet you. Who's this?
This is my daughter. This is Chelsea.
Hi, Chelsea. How are you?
She's a little shy.
Oh, I'd be the
She's
same way.
tired.
Yeah.
We've been running around. We just
Oh.
moved to this neighborhood.
Did
so-
you? From
Yeah.
where?
I
From
thought
Fort Bend County or another part of the state?
another part of the county, the Harrys.
Okay.
Ah, so you need to re-register to vote.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
you meet
Actually, we
Eliz?
did vote for
Eliz?
you.
You did?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I've got another candidate for you. Eliz is running for State House, and her election
Oh.
Yes.
and her election starts on October 22nd, so a little bit more than a month from now. You can go to any early voting location and cast your ballot for Eliz. And when Eliz gets in, we change the majority, or soon after she gets in, we change the majority in the State House. And it just means that on education or on gun violence or on environmental issues, you've got a leader who's going to represent you. So I wanted to make sure that I gave you a chance to meet her and would love for you to
Nice to meet
support
you.
her.
Definitely nice to meet you. And
Yes, I would definitely. My husband would have loved to meet you.
Oh,
for sure.
okay.
Yes.
Should we take a picture and send it to him?
Yes.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Beto.
Juana.
Nice to meet you, Juana. Yes.
It's her son's birthday, so she's running around
Yeah.
the area.
How old is your son today?
8.
Right on.
Yes,
Yeah, we
yes.
got an 8-year-old at home.
You do?
Yes, our son Henry's 8. He's in 3rd grade, and in fact, he's in a couple months is going to be 9 years old. Yeah, it's a great age.
Yeah.